Have you ever felt like you see the world differently from everyone else? That the more you try to express your thoughts, the more people seem to turn away? If so, you're not alone. In fact, history is full of individuals who saw too much, thought too deeply, and found themselves standing alone because of it. But why is this the case? Why does society fear deep thinkers? The answer might be more unsettling than you think. Let's start with the stories of those who came before us. Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, was condemned to death for questioning the beliefs of his time. Galileo, a scientific visionary, was placed under house arrest for challenging the church. Even Nikola Tesla, a pioneer of modern technology, died penniless and ostracized. These weren't just misunderstood geniuses. They were threats to the comfortable illusions society clings to. But what makes deep thinkers so threatening? The answer lies in psychology, in something called the mirror effect. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that doesn't just show your reflection, but highlights every flaw, every fear, every insecurity. That's what a deep thinker represents to others. They challenge the status quo, not just with their words, but with their very existence. And for most people, that's terrifying. Take a moment to think about this. When you encounter someone who is physically strong, you admire their strength. When someone is wealthy, you might envy their success. But when you meet someone whose intelligence far surpasses your own, the reaction is different. It's not admiration or envy, it's discomfort. Why? Because intelligence doesn't just exist, it demands. It demands that you question yourself, your beliefs, your understanding of the world. And for most people, that's a demand they're unwilling to meet. But let's go deeper. Why does intelligence provoke such a visceral reaction? To answer this, we need to look at how humans evolved. For thousands of years, survival depended on fitting in. Tribes thrived on unity, not individuality. A person who thought too differently risked being cast out, and in ancient times, being cast out meant death. This tribal instinct hasn't disappeared. Even in modern society, we're wired to value social acceptance over intellectual curiosity. And when a deep thinker challenges the group's beliefs, they're often met with resistance, not because they're wrong, but because they're disrupting the tribe's harmony. Here's an example. Have you ever tried to share a profound thought in a casual conversation, only to be met with blank stares or awkward laughter? That's not just social awkwardness. It's a defense mechanism. People aren't rejecting your idea, they're rejecting the discomfort it brings. This is why charismatic but shallow thinkers often rise to prominence while deep thinkers are pushed to the fringes. Society values comfort over truth, simplicity over complexity. Now let's talk about the science behind this. Neuroscience shows that when people feel intellectually inferior, their brains react as if they're facing a threat. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, becomes highly active. This isn't a rational response, it's primal. It's the same reaction you'd have if you were being chased by a predator. In this case, the predator is a deep thinker's challenging ideas. And it doesn't stop there. Group dynamics amplify this effect. Studies reveal that in one-on-one settings, people are more likely to engage with intelligent individuals. But in groups, the opposite happens. Why? Because in a group, social status becomes a factor. No one wants to appear inferior in front of others. So instead of engaging, they dismiss, undermine, or exclude the deep thinker. It's not about the ideas themselves. It's about protecting their own ego. This brings us to one of the most profound paradoxes of intelligence. The smarter you are, the more likely you are to feel isolated. It's not because you're unlikable or arrogant. It's because your insights challenge the very foundation of how people see themselves and the world. And that's something most people aren't ready to face. But here's the twist. This isn't a reason to give up. Throughout history, it's been the deep thinkers who have moved humanity forward. From the philosophers who questioned the meaning of life to the scientists who reshaped our understanding of the universe, progress has always come from those willing to stand alone. So if you've ever felt like your thoughts isolate you, remember this: you're not alone. You're part of a long lineage of individuals who dared to see the world differently. And while society may resist, the future belongs to those who think deeply, question boldly, and refuse to settle for the comfort of ignorance. Stay curious, stay courageous, and keep thinking deeply, because the world needs more people who dare to see beyond the surface.